It's a quick demo of the new IMA C&C code version 2. I'm holding the camera this time, so it may be a bit wobbly, so please excuse me. This is the initial screen after the splash screen. This is mode 0, and on the top row we have duty, which has now been increased by a factor of 10, 500 being no assist or regen. R equals the rally mode as before, that will change to a 1 when you put your foot right down. K equals the amount of time that the buttons have been pressed, and T equals the throttle position. You see if I press that down, that's also been increased by a factor of 10, the resolution. The bottom line is the normal BCM gauge data. Left we have voltage, next to that we have state of charge, next to that we have temperature, and finally on the right hand side we have amps to a resolution of 100 milliamps. That's mode 0, and you control that by moving the joy button left or right, up or down. Moving it right increments assist in 100 unit increments, moving it left decrements assist or increases regen, and up and down increases by 10 units. Virtually the same as the previous system, except the resolution is slightly improved, and that will hold those levels until you cancel or press the brake or the clutch, etc. That's mode 0, virtually the same as now. The only other significant differences, I suppose, are the engine start and engine stop. So if you put your foot on the clutch and hold the button to the right, the engine will start. If you hold the button over to the left, engine will stop. So that's useful for forced auto stop. So now to move to the next mode, you press and hold the button up, go to mode 1, and this is the current cruise control mode. At the moment you can see the A in the top line there. That's the amount of current that I would like to use for cruise assist, and that's adjustable between 0 and 50 amps. I thought 50 was a reasonable maximum. And the C next to that shows whether the current cruise mode is active. It doesn't take any notice of the speed of the vehicle, it just tries to limit IMA current to the value that you choose, and T at the end is the throttle again. So if I set, for instance, 10 amps, I'll start the car. You can't engage actual cruise mode until the engine's running, so if I press centre button in now, engage the cruise, you'll see the current slowly increments to around 10 amps, and then it'll hover a bit while it just tries to zero in. It can't exactly zero into 10 amps, but I'm pretty confident it'll give you it to within 500 milliamps of your target current, which is not too bad. So I could just increment that. I'll go up a few amps, I'll go to 13 amps, and it will slowly increment the duty and hover around till it gets as close as it can to 13 amps with the available resolution. Go back down again, cancel it, 0, and I shall turn it off as well. So that's the cruise mode. Now cruise mode also operates with the rally function as well. So if you're in cruise mode at say 10 amps and you put your foot right hard down on the throttle, it will temporarily disengage the cruise mode, use maximum assist as normal, and then as soon as you release your throttle beyond the activation point, it will resume cruising at the chosen current you had before. To cancel cruise, you can either press the brake or clutch or press the button in on the centre. So that's mode 1. Now going to mode 2. That's the error blink code on the OEM gauge panel. That's pretty self-explanatory. Next one, mode 3. That's the number of errors and packets. Mode 4. Some data from the B3 and B4 byte, which we may be able to use later on when we discover what all the bits mean. Mode 5, that's compensation current mode. When you load this software into the system, it will default to 0, but I've given the option of plus 20% current because my car is set up for plus 20% current, so that compensates for the BCM gauge readings. You'll just need yours, leave yours on the default setting. Mode 6, if you press up, that will enable data logging. Short press up and just toggles the mode on and off, and that dumps data in exactly the same way as the BCM gauge, so you just need the same pickaxe lead or USB to serial lead and straight into the spreadsheet. Up once more. Mode 7, this is the throttle trip adjust point for the rally mode. If I put my foot up and down on the throttle, you can see it changes. So you can adjust that between 70 and the maximum depressed value. I set a minimum so that you couldn't set the trip point too low. So for instance, say I want to change it to 88. If you select 88 with the throttle and then press and hold the centre button in till it changes, and you'll see that the bottom number has now changed to 88. The trip point is now set at 88. That's a bit too far down for me, so I'm just going to reset it back to 80. I can hold the throttle at exactly the right point. Yeah. Hold the button in, and then we're back to 80. Go back up, press the button up once more, and we're back to mode 0, which is the normal mode. So mode 0, normal mode, increments duty and holds those values. Mode 1, cruise mode, tries to cruise at the current you select. Mode 2, blink mode. Mode 3, errors. Mode 4, B3 and B4 data. Mode 5, amp compensation. Mode 6, data logging. Mode 7, throttle trip point. And back to mode 0. And I think that's all at the moment. The software seems to be reasonably stable, and I'm going to release this version later on today.